else would like to talk to the town board tonight, kindly step to the microphone, state your name. If you could kindly keep your comments to 5 minutes or less, that'd be appreciated.
Hello, my name is David Mongello. I'm newly elected in District 9 in the town of Lockport to represent 300 residents. This occurred last year. A few years ago, the planning board for the Tops gas station was presented here. I attended the meeting, and the engineers gave some ridiculous numbers on the flow of traffic around that gas station. And I brought to the town, I said, it didn't seem odd. They were saying that 5 cars an hour or something. And the town engineer, whoever was there, they said, no, it was all been looked to, everything's fine. But since that now, the accidents in that area have almost doubled. There was 2 today, in fact, I attended. That's an issue I think the town really need to look in closer in what's going on, how they do their planning and the engineering. Also, the accident rate at the intersection of Ham Road where McDonald's was put in. I was told that even the driveway access was illegal. It's too close to the intersection, which creates a confusing traffic flow when people come into the intersection when they come up to make a turn. So the accident level has gone up there dramatically too. It's just funny. My sign was on Trans Road for almost 2 years and not one accident. I just think that common sense is sometimes better than engineering sometimes when it comes to making decisions at the town of Lockport. The other thing that's really bothering me, I'm really being harassed by the town of Lockport. It started with my building. 3 months to get approved to move in that building was ridiculous. Then the sign issue, you made a law up, you made a judge decide the case that you put in office, which I asked for a different judge. Then it went to, the town broke my window over a snow blower. You guys wouldn't pay for that. That was pretty ridiculous. Selective enforcement, you got other issues, laws being broken all over the place. You won't even let me park my trailer in my parking lot of my business. I have to leave it at my house because I don't have a permit to park it there. You publicly posted information saying that I stole water from the town of Lockport, and you put that information on a website. You tried suspending me and a friend of mine from the volunteer fire company, which was ridiculous. The chief called me in. The next day I paid the water bill. I had permission to tap in the hydrant. They measured how much water. They sent me the bill the next day. I had permission to do that, yet you guys tried getting me suspended from the fire department for stealing water. Then you publicly post information on a website. That's ridiculous. I'm being harassed. And now, because of the pool, you're issuing me 4 summonses for my pool that was already pre-existing, put in 1973, and you're saying I need building permit, electrical inspection, fence, and a pool alarm, which half the stuff wasn't even needed and I was working on. I go to court, 3 of the summonses disappear. They said, come back later. I get a letter saying that I didn't show up, which I did, I was there. I show back up, there's only 2 summonses, 2 other ones are missing, and I'm asking, everything's pre-existing. I'm totally being harassed here. This is just totally uncalled for by the town of Lockport government. If I had an attorney that would fight this case, it'd probably be worth $1 million. You're discrediting me, you're humiliating me and my families, you're giving my competitors free property tax, and trying to drive me out of this town. It needs to stop, please.
Paul Black, Harding Avenue Extension. Mark Smith, I read with interest your letter in the Union Sun and Journal of December 24th, which we both know was a response to my letter of the 16th. I would like to say that I really appreciate you informing the constituents that you welcome constructive criticism and that you encourage real dialogue. I really do appreciate that. And I can even appreciate how you might need to view me through the lens of a political opponent. But I'm not a political opponent. I'm just a concerned citizen. I know I've been squeaking and squawking here of late, but I feel that I don't want to use the word complaints, but I feel like what I've been addressing has been reasonable. I'm concerned when an elected official attacks one of my neighbors at a public meeting. And when I read the 2007 contract with the YMCA, I'm concerned because no matter how many times I read it, I keep coming to the same conclusion. It's not in the best interest of the taxpayers of this town. Now, I know Mark and I disagree with about that. And that's why I would like to suggest, Mark, that we go on LCTV and we have a public dialogue about this. Now, you know LCTV much better than I do, and I'd like to ask that you set up a date and a time when you and I can go on there together with a moderator, and in a moment here, I'll give Nancy Brooks my contact information, and when you or she contacts me, I'll meet you there and we can publicly discuss this. With regards to my letter of the 16th, something unintentional happened with that letter. I received an email from Mark Crocker, and I'll read one sentence from that email. It says, Mr. Black, after treating you with respect, you reported in the Union Sun and Journal that you were treated to a self-serving brush-off by Mark Crocker. He then puts in parenthetical statement, a personal attack. I'd like to address that, Mark. I was not intending a personal attack. I didn't mean that, but I do believe that if I offended you, I truly do apologize. Sometimes topics are difficult. Sometimes they don't come across the way we want them to come across. If I slighted you in the slightest way, I do apologize, and I hope that we can go forward, that you're willing to forgive me for that faux pas, but I had no intention of slighting you. Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, I'll call the public comments closed for this evening and move on with our business. Item number